Recording in progress.
Hello, and welcome back to the Listen Bitch podcast with your favorite podcast host, Brandon Lynette. This show exists for one reason, to help people step into their God-given potential without hiding behind excuses or labels or the victim mentality. We talk faith and responsibility and discipline and emotional ownership, not in a judgmental way, in a grown-up way. Life is hard, you guys. We're all in the arena getting our ass kicked. Trauma is real. Pain matters. But staying stuck is still a choice, and no one's coming to save you. Jesus did not die so we could sit around endlessly processing our feelings. He called people to repent, to rise, to move. So if you're here looking for validation for why you can't change, this is not your show. But if you're ready to stop bullshitting yourself and actually live the life that God put on your heart, you are in the right place. And today I'm so excited. I am joined by Marit Welker. Marit is a Christian speaker, a coach who's walked through serious illness and pain and loss. But instead of letting that become her identity, she chose responsibility and faith and forward motion. She works with women, especially mothers, who are tired of the trauma, language, culture, and the culture that's keeping people stuck. And she challenges the misuse of boundaries when they're used to avoid discomfort instead of address real harm. So the conversation is not about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about what you do after the pain, how faith and choice and discipline actually change your life. So let's get into it. Marit, I'm so excited you're here. I have to say, we're just talking about our neurospicy brain for a second, and something popped up on my window, and it literally, I have no idea what's happening right now. Like some AI notes. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Squirrel brain got me. But I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here. You have one correction.
Yes.
95% of people say it wrong, but my name is Marit.
Marit.
Like Martha, not Mary.
Martha, not Mary. Okay.
Correct.
Marit.
Marit, correct.
I should have corrected myself in the very beginning.
That's okay. I didn't tell you.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love Marit. That's a great name.
Thank you.
Marit it's unique. I will tell you, I've never heard Marit.
Well, the Crown Princess of Norway is named Mette Marit.
Okay.
It's a Norwegian name.
Gotcha. A royal one at that.
Yeah. Sure.
Just take it.
I am a daughter of the king.
Exactly. Exactly. So tell me, I mean, I don't know where we start at the beginning. You've been through the real life suffering. I see a lot of people that are just continuing to build identities around what hurt them. And I literally just recorded this. I just recorded a rant on my podcast today. I've never done that before. About culture right now, what social media has done with all of the TikTok therapists and social media psychologists, and how they have helped all of these kids think that everything in their life was trauma when their parents were just like real human, right? Not to say that real abuse didn't happen, but I just see this huge culture of cancel parents, everything was trauma, and like they're building identities around what hurt them.
Right.
Not minimizing that the hurt didn't happen. I guarantee, everybody has been hurt by their childhood. But like, when did you realize that? Yeah. When did you realize that pain was not refining you, but starting to define you? And what do you think about that thing happening in society with our kids and culture?
I think I didn't realize it for about 20 years. I didn't recognize that I was a victim. Are you hearing an echo?
No, you sound good to me.
Great. Then we'll just keep going with me hearing it. All right. So what happened for me was that I raised my children, and I had blamed my mother for everything that had happened to me along the way, about the pain that I experienced and all of the troubles I was having in my life were all her fault, you see.
Yeah.
And of course, that's not true. But in my mind, that was the case. And it was because my love language is words, and my love language is nurturing, and my mother's love language is otherwise. And so she did these Herculean loving tasks on my behalf through the years. So many times. I mean, one time she came when I had a baby, and she took care of my kids for 2 weeks. And I inherited from my father some mild pack rat tendency. And she went through and organized everything in my house. And I swear that's not an easy thing. I had a 3,000 square foot house that was just chock full of junk.
Yeah.
But what happened was I discounted this as duty. This is what she does for her kids. And criticized her even in the midst of this. Yeah. Did she make mistakes? Sure. We all do. But we have these things called fatigue, hormones, emotions. And throughout all of those things, if a child doesn't feel listened to or appreciated or loved in that one crucial moment, the mom has no idea that the child is going through something really extreme at that moment. But if they didn't feel loved, then that can settle in their brain and become a part of their identity and their relationship. The problem is this victim mentality that society is breeding and profiting from. And that's the saddest part, is the many people on Instagram and on podcasts and everywhere, that YouTube, that are getting so much money out of all of the exposure of emphasizing the negative and setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is important. And I'll tell you something. Military has a rule. Okay, at least I heard this. I wasn't in the military. But there were 2 grades of problems. And one problem was, are you being shot at? Or worse.
Yeah.
And the other problem is everything else.
Yeah.
Now, in the military, you can be in that situation. Mm-hmm. But in real life, abuse can happen. And there are cases where it's extreme. But most of the time, we are taking even the most minor abuse and labeling it as this, and that we are victims. And from there, moving on to becoming professional victims.
Yes.
We learn to set boundaries to protect ourselves. We're applauded for it.
Yeah.
And yet, instead of dealing with something that's uncomfortable or possibly even truly painful, and growing together and being patient and extending the grace that you receive from God,
yeah,
we become these victims and we live there. And I did. And then my son did this to me. And there was pain there, and I did things wrong. And I'm not proud of it. But I've also stepped forward and become stronger and become better. I've learned to listen to what really matters to him.
Yeah.
And in so doing, I prepared the way that we could reconcile. But in the interim, there was a waiting time, and I couldn't do anything. If I said anything that was wrong, if I did something bad, it was wrong. If I did something good, it was, discounted.
Yeah.
Just like I did to my mom for 30 years, he did to me for 6 months or a year. And his wasn't as bad as what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just kind of set a boundary.
Yeah.
A very painful boundary, because I was separated from my grandchildren. But that being said, eventually he got through things and I got through things, and then we were able to reconnect.
Yeah.
But going forward, this is happening so frequently over little things and medium things, mm-hmm. and misconceptions And neuroscience explains why this happens. May I get into that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, our brain was designed to keep us alive. And with that, we need to focus on being safe. And to focus on being safe, we've got to be extremely alert to danger. So our brain is designed and trained to look for danger. It looks for problems and anything that might be harmful to us, physically or otherwise. And so because of that, we have this echoes loud. Because of that, the brain wants to make us aware of these things. Yeah. And it gives attention to these things.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So what happens is our brain is going to be looking for the negative and sometimes getting stuck in that. And the reason it gets stuck there is because, first of all, it's natural to emphasize the problems. That's why the news is such a successful financial industry. That's what they market to, and that's what they sell. Yeah. Even when there's more good news than bad, all they sell is the bad. But moving on. So our brain is looking for the bad, and then it looks for it again. And every time we have a thought, our brain is creating a path to have that thought. If we didn't have that, I love this analogy. When we get into habits and patterns, our brain's doing that as well. Mm-hmm. Picture you've got a kitchen cabinet and you've moved your cups from one cabinet to another. And what happens is you go to the wrong cabinet for the first 2 months to reach for a cup because you've been doing it for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Until you finally learn the correct cupboard. Now, the same thing happens with our brain with thoughts, because that's how we have to function. We have to have these roads in place. I'm calling it road. It's a neural pathway. Yeah. But that road has to be there. Otherwise, we would go to the cabinet, pull out a cup and say, what's this? You know, we can't be thinking these things each time. That's why a 3-year-old might have a more difficult time processing and stuttering their thoughts because they can't, I'm sorry, all the because they can't process a thought continuously and smoothly. Right. So the roads just aren't in place. Right. So what we do is we are in the habits, creatures of habit, who repeat thoughts. Over 90% of our thoughts that we have today are thoughts we had yesterday. 90%. Yep. And so when we're choosing negative thoughts and we repeat it, it becomes a road. And we repeat it again and again, it becomes a deep road and a rut, and we get stuck there. In fact, it can become like a superhighway that we travel so much over and over. Mm-hmm. But the problem with that superhighway is we're only going one direction. But we can't see the other person's side of it. And that's what damages the relationships. We are so stuck in our rut of way of thinking that we can't see that maybe that moment where our parent failed us was actually a moment where they were suffering, or they were tired, mm-hmm. or they were going through marital difficulty or financial difficulty. Mm-hmm. And so instead of giving them grace, we're condemning them without a trial. Yeah. And as I said, this is something that society is feeding on at this time. It's something that I guess Fox News reported yesterday, is my understanding. I haven't verified this. That 67 million Americans are estranged. Yeah. How many Americans are there? Like 300 something?
Right. It's a lot. The number's huge. But the scary thing is, and I feel like because they are ingraining this in them, and because of the media brainwashing, and because of the mental manipulation, and because they're not seeing their parents' humanity. There's this expectation of like, they had to be perfect parents. We had to be completely healed, should never have struggled through anything. I had, we had a really rough 2 years here where my husband and I were drinking super heavy, and it was very toxic. Okay. Like scary. He was very scary. His anger was scary. And he, my 4 older kids, he married me after I got divorced. I had 4 kids. So he came in as a single parent, automatically a parent to 4 kids. Okay. Overnight, literally. We didn't handle that well. Not at all.
Yeah.
And I own that completely, right? Like it was toxic, but I was going through a divorce. I was going through custody issues. I was still trying to figure out who I was, because I had never been that person. I'd been who everybody else wanted me to be. On top of that, my mom signed her rights off on me when I was 12. So rejection to me is what I know. I never had guidance. I emancipated as a ward of the state at 15. My kids don't get that. They don't care. They care that I was a mess and all of that trauma packed in for them. But this is what scares me about kids taking this on, is that when it comes time for them to build a family, what level of perfection are they going to hold for themselves and be willing to have kids and have a family? Because reality is going to hit. Like, there's no such thing as a perfect parent. I don't care who you are. Life is kicking your ass. We're all in the arena. Something will happen. And there's going to be a moment in time where you can't be what your kid needs in that moment, no matter what.
Absolutely.
And the huge difference is that, my perspective, I came out of the gate like, I'm the best mom ever. I gave my kids everything I never had, which was a present mom. There, no matter what, I was, super loving. I supported them in everything, even to this day. And I've experienced that, just cut off. And it was brutal at first. I did everything wrong. And now I'm like, all right, just here's the space. And I'm locked in on, am I living good for myself? Am I living good for me? I can't control what my kids are going to choose. And when you're an adult, it is a choice. But I see this happening so much worse for other people. And I could beat myself up all day long. I want to break this toxic cycle of families being broken. My mom and I went without talking for forever. A couple years ago, like 2 years ago, maybe, we got on the phone. I forgave her a long time ago. Like, it's part of my prayer. Like, I love her so much, and I get it. I get why she did what she did. Being a parent is hard. I do not blame her for jumping ship. Okay. It's made me who I am. And frankly, I love myself in spite of all my mistakes, in spite of everything. I'm full of sin. I'm human, and I still can wake up and make choices where I can look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I love you. I love you so much. And it's because of all these things that happened for me. And so I forgave her long before she was sorry. I had the conversation with her. Is she someone that I can call every day and I'm excited to talk to about? I'll never have that. I mourn my mom all the time.
Oh.
I mourn her all the time because she's never going to be who I've needed. She can't understand me. She can't understand what I'm going through with my kids because she ditched us. You know what I mean? Like, she'll never be able to be like, when your daughter turns whatever age, she's kind of going to pull away. When your son goes to join the Marines, he's going to try to self-preservation, and like, just all of these things that happen. It's about taking all of that into account, about personal experiences and humanizing parents again.
Right.
Never will I ever see a perfect parent. It's just not a possible thing. And it just terrifies me. It terrifies me about like what happens when it's time for them to have kids. If they're expecting such perfection, how hard are they going to be on themselves? And what is the expectation? And that's heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Well, I'm looking for a verse that really brought it home to me, but keep going.
Yeah. I'm actually losing you a little bit. But people love to say, choose joy. Right. But that kind of sounds insulting when someone's life is on fire. I know I piss a lot of people off because I'm like, happiness is a choice, you guys. And the world's burning down and they're like, I hate you, Brandon. So what does choosing joy actually look like without bypassing reality? Because pretending everything's fine is just denial, right? It's not real.
Everything doesn't have to be fine to have joy.
Yeah.
You can feel grief and pain and sadness, even in the midst of great joy. I experienced that when my dad died.
Yeah.
I was so happy for him and for his family being reunited. I mean, as I understand it. And I didn't want him here any longer suffering and with his body falling apart.
Yeah.
But of course I grieved him. I love my dad. I've always been a daddy's girl. But being able to balance that and still feel joy and joy in my own life, because I had grandkids.
Yeah.
You can't not be happy when you're around cute little grandkids.
Oh. Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
But at that being, they're an extension of your child. Mm-hmm. And they're that innocent, sweet age of your child. And it's like revisiting when you got to be that mom to them in short little bursts. It's wonderful.
Don't you think that's part of the full circle experience in life, though, is that, like, what should have happened, ideally, is that my mom raises me, and yeah, she messes up, and
mm-hmm.
you know, there's things I'm struggling with that she's not the mom I need in that moment, but she sticks with it. When I have kids, she gets to love my kids because she's not going through that healing. By the time you're a grandparent, you know, like right now, I'm so good. I have my trauma healed. I've taken massive responsibility. I've owned my mistakes. I work on who I can grow to be in God every single day. So now when my kids have kids and they're a little less than, my kids have the grandparents that are willing to step up with that fullness. It's part of the family unit, and it's just breaking. It's breaking across the board because parents don't have access to their grandkids. And I feel like we're missing so
and
much.
More tragic, those grandkids don't have access to the grandparents.
Yeah.
Now I can teach people how to be happy no matter what's going on in their lives.
Yeah.
I learned that years ago. I was bedridden, broke. We had just been through a bankruptcy a couple of years earlier after we got embezzled.
Oh, wow.
That's a long story. But during that time, I didn't have this energy to breathe and lay there. And the blankets felt too heavy on my chest.
Yeah.
I had to put the sheets below my waist so I could actually have the strength to breathe.
Wow.
And I never lost the ability to use my wrist and my hands. But I was too tired to talk. And there were days when all I could do was get to the bathroom a couple of times. What I had was the parent to long COVID, which is post-viral syndrome. But that wasn't discovered until after COVID. So here I am laying in bed for 2 months, not knowing if I'm going to heal or if I'm even going to live. Nobody knows what's wrong. And I had decided I was going to be patient and trust in God's time. The last time we went through the difficulties, which was the bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And this time I was going to be patient and cheerful. Patient and cheerful, no matter what the Lord brings.
Yeah.
That's what my logo is based on.
Love that.
It's a woman with her arms outstretched and her hands up, looking up to heaven with incredible joy, receiving everything that heaven gives her. And her feet are walking forward. And during that time, I learned how to be happy, no matter what was going on or not going on in my life. And when you can't look forward, but I made the decision. And that's the key element right there is I made the decision. And that decision was be happy and cheerful. And I found a way to do that. And that was gratitude. I have lived the most amazing life. Yeah. And I never really recognized that. And suddenly I'm going through it. I snorkeled in the Red Sea. I studied the Bible in Jerusalem, traveled the world. Sang in front of thousands of people. And spoken in front of 10,000. And I really have had some really unique opportunities, and I'm grateful for them.
Yeah.
But as I lay there, stacking one good experience upon another, this was before grandkids.
Yeah.
But all of those experiences brought me so much joy, and I could see the hand of God in my life and helping all of my dreams come true that I had when I was in high school, and so many that I never dared to dream. And then as I lay there for the next 16 months, as I chose to view everything from a positive angle, everything from a cheerful perspective. For instance, here would be an example, an outlandish one, but it illustrates it well. I was in a car crash and I lost both my legs. But I'm so grateful that I'm still alive because there was such good medical care.
Yeah.
Or you don't even have to say, but I'm so grateful. Just say, and I had phenomenal medical care. It's something where you can always find a positive angle.
Yeah.
And when you do, it brings you blessings.
Yeah.
It was the best 16 months of my life. And I lay there for a long time after that.
Yeah. No, I love that. And it's turning, flipping the switch. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is you were talking about the brain and what it does. But neuroplasticity is an amazing thing.
Yes.
And it's hard. I'm not saying this is an easy thing, you guys. It's like going to the gym and working a muscle. We are comforted by negative thoughts. We get so addicted to that. It's just a part of our default mode network, and it's all we know. So it's like, obviously, say you are brushing your teeth with your right hand and you lose your right hand in a car accident, you're going to feel very awkward for a very long time trying to brush your teeth with your left hand. Like, it's not going to come natural to you. Okay.
That's right.
That's what it is to flip that switch and choose to see the bright side in everything. And if you guys can just like little things, like start saying right now, one of the biggest things I say is that everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Most of the time, it's better than I really wanted. And when something doesn't work out for me, it's because there's something better waiting for me.
Right.
There's never, everything.
Agreed.
Everything. Yeah.
And we don't have to know what's coming yet.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge for many of us, is something good is coming, something better is coming.
Yeah.
When? Well, it doesn't matter when. He's the architect of our lives if we let him be. And he wants us to have joy.
Yeah.
I wanted to read, if it's all right.
Yeah, please.
A scripture that really was a turning point for me. And this is 1 Corinthians. I'm reading King James Version. 1 Corinthians 1, verses 3 and 4. Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforteth us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble, by the comfort with we ourselves comforted of God. To me, that says we are comforted in our tribulation so that we can comfort others.
Yeah.
But that also means we have to have the tribulation so we can understand others. I don't have to experience what you went through and understand it perfectly.
Right.
I know my own flavor of suffering.
Yeah.
But I know suffering. And I can't believe what you've gone through. I, though, have chronic health problems, chronic pain, all kinds of stuff going on. And it's not all good.
Right.
But I keep waiting for the balloon to burst because it's just been too good for so long. And I need to have a growth period coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's coming, but I just kind of feel like I'm ready for it because life is just too perfect.
Yeah.
And we're never happy without growth.
Exactly. Growth is stagnant. I mean, if you're not growing, that's death to me. If I'm not going to wake up and work on what I'm doing, I may as well be dead, because what's the point of the human experience if we're not going to work on growing into our potential? And that's with everything. And it is a choice. And I think it's exciting. Right. One of the things, like every day I after I read the Bible, the first sentence in my journal is, what if today is the day that everything breaks open? I'm excited to see what miracles happen. And when you train yourself to see like what exciting things happen, like everything in the day, I'm like, oh, this was it. No, this was it. This is so perfect. Like, I love this part of my day. And all of a sudden, everything is just magic. I mean, even getting to meet you, and I love your energy. I love everything that you're saying.
Thank you.
Like, this is a highlight of my day. I'm like, this is really refreshing. It's nice to have someone who, I mean, we're on the exact same page with a lot of this. So
absolutely, your
brain is going to find everything you search for. And if you want to search for all the bad, everything bad that's happening to you, you're going to see it. I could sit here and tell you all the bad things I'm waiting for, and I'll show you when it happens because I'm focusing on it.
Well, that's that. I mean, seek and you shall find.
Yeah.
That works in everything, because our brain functions that way.
Yeah.
But these automatic negative thoughts are what Dr. Daniel Amen calls them.
Yeah.
And these habits we get into in our brain of thinking negative patterns, and we can break out of that.
Yeah.
But that requires one thing: a decision.
Yep.
You have to decide you want it. And once you decide you want it and you're going to fix it, then what happens is you will find a way after you've decided.
Right.
But you have to decide, and then you have to take steps forward, and then it happens.
Yeah.
And that's the pattern for any growth.
Yeah. Where do you draw the line between compassion and enabling people to stay stuck?
I have enabled much in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not proud of it. But I will tell you that there have been times I've just wanted to say, suck it up to a child who's having a hard time.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe 100 times. And in those moments, I just have to kind of search inside of me.
Yeah.
And I can feel whether I should or shouldn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes a child needs pushed. Sometimes a child needs to know that someone's in their corner.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, it makes them grow up slower, but I think they can grow up safer if they have severe anxiety and things like that, as certain individuals I know have. Certain individuals that I don't talk about.
Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. What do you say to parents whose adult children have cut them off, not because of abuse, but because that discomfort got labeled as trauma?
Well, here's what I tell them. Well, actually, I have an entire course in coaching. It's a 16-week program. But what I tell them is that, as painful as it is, it's always two-sided.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean they did anything wrong. But like I mentioned earlier, they might not have been there for a child. And what seemed like, oh, they're just tired and whining and, go to bed and it'll be better in the morning.
Yeah.
And that might be a huge turning point in a child's life while they're worried about whatever problems they're experiencing as an individual and as a parent. And if they brushed off that child's moment of trauma, what happens is that child then remembers that.
Yeah.
And with the help of our natural brain's tendency to find the problems, it will dwell on that thought and create that pathway and strengthen it naturally.
Right.
So that is just part of the human condition.
Yeah.
Fanning the flames of that into a bonfire of separation.
Yeah.
And then applauding them for establishing a boundary and cutting off their parent. That's something that social media has done.
Yeah.
Especially, but all of society. It's so tragic.
Yeah.
But they get applauded and they feel like they have a sense of control and they feel that strength.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily reality.
Right.
And those parents need to understand how it happened in order to be able to move forward and understand that this is something real in their child's mind.
Right.
And then what they can do is they prepare themselves and learn to not get defensive and learn to be peaceable. And when they learn those skills and learn to strengthen and find themselves and hopefully even surrender to Christ, then at that point, these parents are ready. And there's an appropriate way to reach out to a child and less appropriate ways. And at that point, they can reach out to their child and try to reconcile.
Right.
And other than that, it's a waiting game. And that waiting game might be many years, but you can learn to live happily and have joy and peace and incredible inner strength and find purposes and meaning in life beyond the kids and grandkids. And God will take care of them. And you just have to do what you can do so that you live ready. Because if that door cracks open, even a little bit, who you are in that moment is the complete and absolute most important thing you can do and be.
Right.
To about reconciliation.
Yeah. And I'm blessed. I have not. I mean, I made it sound kind of dramatic, like my kids have cut me off. They haven't, but they have. I mean, especially my oldest, like we went from talking every day, all day to, I saw her at Christmas, Yeah. And it breaks my heart. I do send random messages like, I love you. I'll always answer the phone. And she knows that. She's called me, like she locked her keys in the car. I was there in a heartbeat, right? That's what moms do.
Right.
But I guess some things that I definitely want our listeners to understand, if you didn't hear the rant I just posted, right, is that it is true. You have to regulate yourself first. Your nervous system is the anchor, and a calm, grounded parent who isn't reactive, like you're going to disarm the kid,
That's right.
And the things I did when she first pulled away from me, she graduated college and she lived at home till she was 23. Before she moved out, like it was just tough. Like she was just cold and nasty to me because she's like, I remember all this thing from my past. And, I get it. I'm like, yes, I messed up. And even then I said all the wrong things. I just found that out. Even in that moment when she told me all the problem, I said all the wrong I just have done everything wrong. And then I panic text. I put them through emotional whiplash. I was totally defensive. Yeah.
That becomes evidence to support their cause.
And that's exactly what happened. So I did all that. Okay, you guys.
Me too.
I took a bad situation. I lit it on fire. And I fanned the flames because I was freaking out. I'm like, I don't talk to my mom because she literally signed her rights off on me. Okay? Like there's a big difference.
Right.
I've never left you. You literally lived here till you were 23. I've never, I've been here. I've supported you. I've had your back, whatever. Defended all the things, did all the wrong things. But this is the thing, what I want to tell you guys. And I learned it the hard way. So please take this. But you can acknowledge this without accepting the false identity. So validate their feelings, but you do not accept a distorted story about who you are. And
Absolutely.
I struggled with that. I struggled for months. Like I had no one to talk to about this. I love the work that you do, Marit. I love the work that you do because I've just raw dogged this. Like I've had no guidance. God,
it's hard.
Bible. And this is the thing.
I did the same thing. It just took me 20 years.
Yeah. It's taken me a year and maybe a year and a half, maybe, where I finally just figured it out, where I know who I am. I know the kind of mom that I am. And it's easy. You guys acknowledge that, you can be sorry for the ways that you hurt them. And I did, trust me. It was bad, right? Like it was toxic and scary. And just everything I did was like the wrong choice for everybody. I can't stay there. Like I can't stay in the past. I was imperfect. And I do wish I'd done things differently, but I didn't. And I love you and I'm open to growth now. You know, we don't have to continue to explain. We don't have to like counter accuse.
That's right.
You know, it's just refuse to participate in the narrative warfare.
Absolutely.
And as much as we're saying this trauma culture, don't talk to your kids about trauma culture. Okay. Don't argue about labels, right? Don't debate the word. Just respond to the emotion, you know, and that is they experience pain. Let's honor that. Let's acknowledge that. And something that I've done really, really lately is that I'm here. I love you. And the door is always open. Like I'm here, you know.
Perfect.
We had my birthday's coming up. And of course, you know, I was demanding family days every 2 weeks where we could all get together. And when I realized how negative the attitudes were, I was like, okay, I'm forcing this and I have to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm not in control of this. I don't have to force the family time. My son's about to leave. He's like, Mom, could we please have a set day where we have family day? And I wanted to honor that. But I couldn't be in the room with so much anger and hate and coldness towards me. Like I have to protect my peace now.
Right.
Know? So we're planning my birthday and I'm like, listen, one of my kids tried to guilt my oldest. I'm like, nope. I do not want anyone there that is not voluntarily there because I feel really good. Like, I don't know, the past 2 weeks, I felt so amazing because I've done that work on my nervous system, right? Like I'm doing the work and I'm letting God do his work and I'm protecting that.
That's right.
It's not rejection. It was just a simple, like, please don't come if it's not a genuine, like you want to be around me, you know? And
I do.
My husband's going to be there. This is the environment. If you want to come and be a part of that, it's going to be fun. And that was it. There was no pressure and everybody responded great. You know, how it's going to go, I don't know. But you guys, it's possible to do things like this and you just leave the door open. They just need solid parents, you know?
That's right. And taking it one step further, you mentioned taking care of you in the interim, and that is where the power lies.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you had problems in the past like every other human.
Yeah.
And you caused pain just like every other human.
Yeah.
And you were being held on trial and, you know, all of that without consenting to be on trial.
Right.
However, you have 100% control over you, over your life, over who you are, over what you see and what you experience. And I say that not because we can pull ourselves out of really difficult circumstances. Sometimes we cannot pull ourselves out.
Right.
It's a waiting game or we need help. But in the interim, we are still coming back to that big word. Ready? Decision.
Yeah.
We decide what our experience is going to be.
Yeah.
We decide what our thoughts are. And when we learn to practice looking for the positive, that changes all the roots in our brain and builds incredible happiness. And with that, resilience.
Yeah.
You can't grow resilience without experiencing difficulties and challenges.
Yeah.
But you can shine while you go through them. I have learned that you don't have to be healthy to be happy, and you don't have to have money to be happy, because we were broke. My business, which I had lovingly built over the last 9 years, just went down the toilet.
Yeah.
And I was able to just let it go peacefully, knowing that God had a plan. And I didn't know what it was, but I knew that he was with me and that I had good things ahead of me.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to say, throwing in there, neuroscience, is that while our brain is going to naturally look for the negative and the danger
to keep us safe,
and it takes effort and practice to build the muscles that look for the positive naturally, it can be done. And then what I teach in my program is I work with women to understand what's happening, build a foundation of godly habits.
Yeah.
And those include daily Bible study, even if it's just one verse, daily journaling. And I created a journal app that includes a spot for 3 positive experiences each day, something you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And 3 victories. And those are something that you've overcome, something from your nature, whether it's evil or whether it's overcoming your natural inclinations, doing something good that's overcoming. I didn't get in a fight. I looked for the positive for 3 hours. Whatever it is, you fill that in. And then in the writing section, you write how you saw God's hand in your life that day. And it's a beautiful tool to really build those muscles.
Yeah.
Because you won't see a difference quickly, but it's a very small difference that compounds.
Yes.
And compounding gifts are phenomenal. Additionally, you'll find yourself looking for the good through the day. Like you said, this is the one thing today, or this is the one thing. But creating that app was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's not on Apple or Android, devices yet. It's still on the web, but I love it.
Where can they find that? Can you?
That is my gift to your listeners today.
Okay.
It is it's just ecwjournal.com. ECW stands for Empowered Christian Woman, because that's what I work with, is the Empowered Christian Women. But it's the Empowered Christian Woman, ecwjournal.com.
Okay.
Just ECW.
That's amazing.
So I'm still working on it. It's a little clunky,
Yeah.
but
no, done is the new perfect. I love that.
There you go. I like that phrase a lot.
So
I work with these women over weeks.
Yeah.
To go from understanding and accepting the circumstances to building themselves in preparation for reconciliation. But I also work with other women sometimes who are going through just pain.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be this. But the goal is to help these women become stronger as individuals, to love themselves without any strings attached, to love their lives, to submit to God, and to learn the skills that bring you happiness. And that's what I learned over a whole bunch of trials, which I'm really grateful for. And sometimes I'm still in them, but I've learned you can be happy no matter what.
Exactly. I love that. And it's true. If Mara, if someone is outside of getting your journal today, and she said that is ecwjournal.com, it's in the show notes. Make sure you link up with that. But if we have a listener, someone listening is tired of being stuck, but afraid to let go of their pain identity, what is the first honest step they take today?
Yeah. Prayer.
Yeah.
You've got to start with prayer, because God is on your side and on the side of your child. And he wants to bring you both together more than anything.
Yeah.
Decisions are involved, and those decisions are on both sides. So recognize that your child will choose whatever they choose. And that does not impact you, nor does that convict you. Just because they've decided this doesn't mean you're an evil parent.
Yeah.
You might have had one mistake and it's grown and flamed into so much more in their head. And then in trying to reconcile, your words and actions can make things worse. So pull back and give them a little space, retrench, and get yourself stronger first. And then be ready and willing to wait. And when the time is right, there's steps to take.
Yeah.
But when the time is right, then you will be ready if that door cracks open. So basically, the time is now to decide.
Yeah.
Period.
How do people work with you? Where do they find you? How do they sign up?
MaritWelker.com.
Okay.
If you go to MaritWelker.com, I'm currently hosting a 5-day mini challenge for women whose children are estranged, where I work with them one-on-one, and this is for short term, but one-on-one, they speak with me 30 minutes a day or so for 5 days. And we work through different issues and we make some progress, meaningful progress. Then at the end of that, they can continue to work with me or not. And it's just an opportunity for them to see what it is that I offer. And I offer more than coaching. I also have a course. But, and then for graduates of the course and the coaching, we have retreats and workshops and things, and that's a lot of fun.
That sounds fabulous. You guys make sure you get resourced with Marit. All of her information is in the show notes. Okay, Marit, I am super grateful that you came on this show. I love your message, just and everything about you. Like,
well, thank you.
Like we just became best friends live. And listen, bitch, this conversation isn't about blaming parents or shaming kids. I want to make that clear. It's about telling the truth in a culture that profits off division. Okay. Pain is real. Mistakes are real, but turning your entire past into a courtroom where someone always has to be guilty is going to rob you of your future. Parents are human. Kids are vulnerable, and both things can be true at the same time. So healing doesn't come from cutting people off to feel powerful. It comes from maturity and discernment and learning how to hold complexity without turning it into an identity. If you are a parent, stay grounded, stay open, stay human. If you're an adult child, don't let the internet decide who your parents were for you. Growth requires more than awareness. It requires courage. And real freedom does not come from separation. It comes from becoming strong enough to integrate the truth and move forward. Please make sure you guys share this episode. The full video is on YouTube. You know I'm trying to grow that channel, so go give a girl some love. Follow it. Please get resourced with Marit. I think she is fantastic. I love that you have stepped into your God-given potential. That always makes me excited because a lot of people are not doing that. So kudos to you for answering the call. And again, thank you. Thank you so much for being on today.